He's still throwing strikes, isn't he? What do you think of that? Holy cow. Well, we're in the era of Donald Trump. And I know there are people who say, well, you know, is he really Second Amendment? Is he really this? I don't know. Let's talk numbers. How's the number 150 sound to you? Judges. 150 judges. I also like the number 2. 2's a good number. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh. We can do that. And it sure looks like we've got a lot of more good things coming. Joining us right now to talk from he's the director of targeted engagement for the Trump Victory Campaign. I like the sound of that. Matt Brasseaux joins us right now. Please welcome him.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me today, Alan. I appreciate you giving me the invite. One thing that I want to revert everyone's attention to real quick is whenever we were leading into the 2016 presidential election, then GOP primary-elect Donald Trump had a number of campaign promises. Something that everyone in the country was like, look, he's just another politician. He's going to talk about all these things that he wants to accomplish in this country, and we're going to see what we get. Well, 2.5 years later, you look at our economy. You look at the job growth in this country. You look at what we've done from a foreign policy perspective. You look what we've done from a national security perspective. You look what we've done from an immigration perspective, healthcare, veterans, judicial appointments, as you mentioned, and now fighting for your Second Amendment rights. These are all things that you can find in Google, the list of accomplishments, and it goes on and on. I could spend all 10 minutes up here talking about the accomplishments that the president has had thus far in his presidency. I know for a fact that he's fighting for you and I as he goes to work every day. And so that's why it gives me the great privilege and in my mind, the greatest job in the country to go around talking about the accomplishments, getting folks involved as we head into the presidential reelect. So there's a number of you in the room that I have had the privilege of meeting, a number of incredible organizations that are represented here, and a number of folks that I continue wanting to meet. Because look, it's going to take a group effort. Everyone in this room has talked about a grassroots effort moving forward and developing those relationships within your own communities. It all starts within your own neighborhood, right? It doesn't start from a national perspective. You come back home to wherever you are from and you build out your relationship within your own neighborhood, and then it builds out from there. That's what it's all about. That's how you all have created your organizations. And I can assure you that's something that we are in the process of moving forward with from a campaign perspective. A number of you have been called upon from the White House to discuss 2A legislation. There's a couple of you that are going to be testifying this next Wednesday in front of the House Judiciary Committee. These things don't just happen because you're just a random person. You all are respected. You all are revered within the 2A movement, and something that I can assure you that myself will be tapping on all of you because it's going to take a group effort moving forward. We hear that, look, every debate, the Democrats give me my talking points. I mean, you just literally write it off the page. And so it's something that, but we need to continue the soundboard. We are a society that we move on to things very quickly because there's a lot going on in our world. And so it's up to all of us with the memberships that y'all represent to keep your folks within your specific states of the understanding, look, the Democratic Party does in fact want to take your guns. It's no longer a talking point, and it's no longer just a scare tactic, but it is absolutely something that they want to accomplish if they were to win in 2020. So that leads me to, what are we doing? What is the campaign doing right now? We are building the largest grassroots effort that this country has ever seen. Look, there are several more of me that are scouring the country right now, all working in a concise effort to move what is called the Trump Victory Leadership Initiative. It's a program that we are developing across this country to engage and activate the grassroots movement in all 50 states for that matter. Whenever you look at what's going on from a campaign perspective, one of the top priorities is registering new voters. That is something that we don't like to talk about it, but in 2008 and 2012, before then President Obama was reelected, they got out and registered voters. That is our biggest effort right now, is to make happen, get out, register voters, or update your voter registration. There's a number of folks within your own community that you can push over the edge to make sure that that happens. Whenever you register a new voter, the average or the percentage of them going to vote the very next election is about 85%. That's huge. So why wouldn't you move on something like that, trying to get your friends, family, folks in your neighborhood involved and get them registered to vote? Within the Trump Victory Leadership Initiative, we're also big on volunteer engagement. Look, whenever President Obama stormed the scene, he activated 2.3 million volunteers across this country, a feat that no one had ever seen before. All this community activism, no one knew what community activism was until he got reelected 2 times. And so I can assure you that that's something that we are in the process of doing it much better than they did, because you're probably going to see, or you are going to see, the largest grassroots, the largest movement that this country has ever seen, trying to tap into 2.5, if not 3 million volunteers across this country to reelect the president. We all have a constitutional right. It's the right to go vote. Why would you not tap into that? Other locations around the world would absolutely love to have that ability. And so we as Americans have that right, and that's something that we need to activate moving forward and get all of our friends. Again, it's a broken record, but it's everyone up here is talking about the grassroots movement, tapping into the grassroots, because that's the only way that you affect change within this country. And so that's what it's you're probably going to get a lot of phone calls from us moving forward. You're probably going to get a lot of door knocks from us moving forward. And just understand, it is all with an effort to get everyone to ultimately go vote. And so, I mean, moving forward, I'll be honest with you, there's a number of you that I want to partner with within your specific states to do just that. And if I'll be in the lobby after, if you want to come and talk to me. But there's also another piece that you all, in this given moment, if you want more information about what's going on, or you want me to contact you, go to www.gop.com/2A. So it's going to ask you if you want to get involved and protect your Second Amendment rights moving forward. Ultimately, sending you over to me so that I can engage you within our teams that are across the country. We are, in fact, in 17 battleground states, so to speak, but active within all 50 states, because I think that there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of support for the president across the country. The website, one more time, is www.gop.com/2A. So I'll leave you with this story here. One of my wife and I's favorite things to do in Washington, D.C. is walk the mall. Okay, if you've ever been to D.C., there's just a wealth of history that is, and whenever you're walking along the mall, you can't help but be in awe. You've got the Capitol behind you, you've got the Washington Monument, World War II, and then Lincoln on down. Now, as many of you know, nothing in Washington is done by chance. Everything has a meaning. Everything is done to a precise effort. So just to amplify that, many folks don't know, whenever you step up to the Lincoln Memorial, you have the second inaugural address, and then you have the Gettysburg Address. Okay, 7 years ago, just so happens that there's 87 steps that lead up to Lincoln himself. Okay, there's 36 pillars that wrap the Lincoln Memorial. Why? 36 states had ratified the Constitution whenever President Lincoln died. That is everywhere across our city. That is everywhere within the district. Everything happens for a precise reason. So don't think that anything that happens within the walls of Congress don't happen by chance, because they do. And that's why a number of you need to continue affecting change, meeting with your lawmakers with regards to our 2A rights, because that's where change is going to happen. So a couple weeks back, my wife and I were walking down the mall, and lo and behold, some of you have probably seen Marine One flying around DC, because it's a no-fly zone, so it's very obvious whenever you have Marine One. So if it's by itself, there's somebody in it, but it's not the president. Whenever you have 3 helicopters flying together, the president is included in that effort. And so we were walking, and as they come and circle the Washington Monument, and 2 helicopters fly on either side of the White House, you have one that comes in very slowly, and that's, in fact, Marine One with the president on it. And so as he guides into the White House, you can't help but notice that he's got the Capitol on one side, he's got the Washington Monument, and then he's got the Lincoln Memorial and World War II on the other side. And he's reminded of what this country is founded on a daily basis. And he's absolutely fighting for you and I on a daily basis. And so this is our opportunity to come and fight for him and get him reelected in 2020. Thank y'all.